What's up, guys? Good morning. Alright, so we've actually got a pretty decent amount of gappers today, at least so far in pre-market. I'm not sure how many of them I'll be able to trade on TradeNet, but I do have 3-day trades on Robinhood, so I may jump into some trades on that as well. First off, I'm watching CALA. This one's gapping up from 635. It's at 690 now, so a pretty big gap. Going to be paying attention to it. Two of the biggest movers are DCAR. You can see it's gapping up from 191. It's at 246 now with a high of 270. Gonna watch it, see if it gets rejected at that 270 level. VTVT had a pretty big day yesterday as well. It's moving some in pre-market. Technically, it's gapping down some, but you can just see this crazy move from about 84 cents all the way to $1.67. So really big move, almost 100% gain. Like I said, it's breaking even in after hours in pre-market. It's at 118 now. It closed at 119, but it's moving, which is the most important thing. So gonna watch that one, see if it has a second day push. TLGT gapping up from 302 all the way up to 365 at its highs, and it's sitting at 336. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that one as well. Yeah, I got a lot of gappers on my list as well, 7. Then they have RIGL, which is probably the biggest mover that I see in the market. You can see it's moving, gapping up a lot, moving, ton of volume so far in pre-market, about 150,000 average per minute shares traded. So really big move in the last, last hour or two. So definitely gonna be watching that one. Maybe jump in on Robinhood with it. Then they have CFMS is another one I'm watching. A few little cheap penny stocks, ANY, FRED. HTGM. So I'm watching a few of these little penny stocks, see if they have a second day push as well. There's HTBX, which is gapping up some, moving a little bit. Let me get down to the 1-minute chart. It's definitely moving some. It's sitting right at the $0.50 now, and it's gapping up from 125. So definitely going to watch this one as well. DWT, going to look for a gap down continuation, maybe under this 872 level. See if it drops under that, maybe for a good short. There's also UWT, a little bit more expensive of a stock, but it's gapping up about $2, a little bit less than $2. So going to keep an eye on this one as well, sitting at right at the whole $1.34 right now. Then there is the last one I'm watching is MDGS. You can see it's gapping up as well, not moving that much. The volume's a little bit low, but it's gapping up nicely, and it has a really obvious high right here at 160, so a really obvious risk. And so yeah, that's my watch list this morning. We'll see if any of these are actually tradable. I'm hoping some of them will be. CALA, no. DCAR, no. MDGS, no. TLGT, no. RIGL, no. CFMS, I can trade. HTBX, no. DWT, I can trade. UWT, I can trade. And so yeah, that's basically it, man. There's not really that many. I may watch JONE here. It's a little cheap penny stock gapping up with low volume, but it's a 79-cent stock, and it's pretty rare that I actually get to trade these stocks that are under $1. And so on TradeNet, and so I'm gonna watch JONE as well. See if I can find anything else, but a huge majority of the stocks on my watch list are not tradable on TradeNet, unfortunately, and so that's a bummer. Seadrill, SDRL. I think it's a penny stock. I don't think I can trade it on TradeNet, but I'm going to watch it. I saw this one earlier on my watch list as well. Oh, I can trade this one. Nice. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching Seadrill. It's actually going to be one of my main watches, just because this is a, it's pretty rare, but this is a stock less than 30 cents, and it's actually tradable on TradeNet, and so it kind of compensates for a lot of those other stocks that aren't tradable. I really wish I could get in RIGL there, but unfortunately I can't on TradeNet, so kind of a bummer. But luckily I have 3-day trades on Robinhood, and so worst case scenario I can try to go long if some of them do start pushing up. But I'll go ahead and add my watch list. What's up, Matt? Good morning, man. PAH. Short at 10. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, I like it at 10, maybe down to that 937 level with a risk at, let's see if I can find a better one. Maybe a risk right here at 10.23 if I do short it. All right, so let's see. Seadrill. What's up, 7? D Evan, unknown, NYC. What's up, guys? SING. That's OTC, unfortunately, so I can't trade it. TEUM. Oh, I like TEUM. It used to be tradable. I don't think it's tradable anymore on TradeNet. Let me see. No, unfortunately, it's not, but it used to be. I don't know why it's not anymore. Let's see. Yeah, I was watching ECYT yesterday as well. I think this one's tradable, so I'll probably watch this one too. So right now my watch list is kind of DWT. I'm just adding the stuff I can trade on TradeNet here. So I could trade DWT, ECYT, Seadrill, JONE maybe. And then I'm going to have to add these, the ones that weren't. PRPO. ECYT's not up over 10%. It's not gapping up over 10%. It closed at 10.05. It's at 10.20 now, so it's only 15 cents. Seadrill is definitely gapping up over 10% though. And so, but a lot of the times what I've noticed is that, especially if it's the first move with these cheap penny stocks, a lot of the time the little cheap ones, the overextended short is just not as reliable, just because it's really easy to buy shares, and since they're so cheap, you know, it could easily push up. I mean, I know the float's going to be a little bit larger because it's cheaper, but a lot of the times the little cheap stocks will run even if they gap up a huge amount, so I'm going to be careful with it. What's up, Dedrick? What's up, man? I like TradeNet for the most part. As you can see this morning, a huge majority of my stocks aren't tradable, and so that's the frustrating thing. But aside from that, I like it for the most part. Yeah, I hope so too, D Evan. MICT. No volume. We'll see if it can pick up some. But yeah, I'll go ahead and add my watch list to the chat. I've since added a few. I know I added JONE, Seadrill, SDRL. What else did I add? Maybe PRPO. So I've added a few. Let's see. Today's the 18th. Yeah, hopefully I can break my Wednesday streak. A lot of the time I don't do great on Wednesday, so hopefully I can break it today. But maybe I can get in Seadrill or DWT for a continuation short. We'll see what happens. What's up, Salty? So it's basically like a prop firm, Dedrick. So I paid $500 with that. I got 14,000 in buying power, and I have a $700 max loss. And so if I go over $700, they shut my account down. And there's a profit split of 70-30, I believe, for the intro package that I bought. But so far, the biggest problem I have with TradeNet is not being able to trade a lot of these stocks that I want to trade. Like today, less than half of the stocks on my watch list are actually tradable. And so you do want to take that into consideration. A lot of times these cheap stocks, specifically stocks under $10, are not tradable, which is pretty frustrating. Good morning, Sean. What's up, man? What's up, Salty? See if I can find anything else moving, but let's look up why some of these are moving. I think that's important to do. Give me 1 second. We'll start looking up why some of these are moving. Hopefully DWT has a real catalyst on why it's down. All right, so DWT, you can see it's gapping down a pretty big amount. I might also watch RUSL here. It's gapping up, a decent amount. We'll watch that one. DWT doesn't really have any news on why it's down. I hate it when that happens. I'd really like to see. All right, so moving on to DCAR. You can see it's at the bottom left. All right, so DCAR reports Q1 B2B automotive volumes rose 163% year over year. And so good news for DCAR. Volume rose 163% from last year. That's pretty good news. So you can see it's gapping up a decent amount. The next one I'm going to look at is RIGL. I think that's really kind of the biggest mover in the market if you look at it. We'll see, try to figure out why it's moving. I noticed this one moving last night as well. Let's see. All right, so RIGL announces FDA approval. RIGL said Tuesday afternoon that the drug that has been the company's main focus has been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. The company last week posted a press release to its website that suggested the approval has taken place and later had to admit that was a mistake. RIGL confirmed Tuesday that the FDA had approved the use of fostamatinib, whatever it is, for a disease known as thrombocytopenia, which causes patients to bleed and bruise really easily. The drug, which will be marketed as Tavalisse, has been Rigel's core focus since the company slashed its workforce by nearly 40%. And so really good news, FDA approval for RIGL on the main drug that they're working on. And you can see with that, it has a pretty decent gap up. I'm a little bit confused. I guess it pushed up really nicely right before the close. Yeah, so it's up from, the gap says it's only from 411 to 420, but that's a little bit misleading because right before the close yesterday, it was at 370 basically. So it's up from 370 all the way to its highs at 491, sitting at 422 now. So still about a 52 cent move. And so a big move with it. Let's look at Seadrill, CDRL. All right, so Seadrill shares rise 21.5% pre-market to 27 cents as U.S. court approves plan of reorganization. And so I guess that's good news. Let's see what else they have on it. All right, so yeah, Seadrill adds 20% pre-bell. Judges approve bankruptcy exit plan. Seadrill gained nearly 20% in pre-bell trade Wednesday after the U.S. bankruptcy judge David Jones in Houston approved the company's plan to exit its Chapter 2 bankruptcy. The plan will provide $1.08 billion of new capital, extend and reprofile $5.7 billion of secured bank debt, and convert $2.3 billion of unsecured bonds to equity. So that's pretty good news. It's still a little sketchy because, they are in bankruptcy right now, but you know, it's good news that they're planning to exit it and continue on, which would save them money. So good news for that for the most part. ECYT is the next one I'm going to look at. It's at 1020 now, gapping up some. All right, so ECYT doesn't really show anything from yesterday or today. It did have something that came out the day before yesterday. All right, it says today announced its late-breaking poster session, that presentation of a new research for endocyte, a chimeric antigen receptor T-cell adapter molecule platform at the AARC annual meeting in 2018. So they're presenting at a meeting, basically, in layman's terms. I don't really understand what any of that other stuff meant. So that's decent news, not the greatest. A little bit pushed. I think it's a little pumped up just from that. So maybe look at it for a short. We'll see, though, under 10, maybe down to 980, maybe a little bit lower. We'll see. So going to watch that one. Another one I'm watching is HTBX. This one just recently started pushing up in pre-market. You can see it's gapping up from 125. It's at 150 now. So let's look up, see why that is moving. No news on HTBX. I guess it's just technical analysis. Let's look up CALA. It's gapping up as well from 635 to 695. This one does have some news out. All right, so they announced FDA fast track designation granted to CB839 in combination with their drug for treatment of patients with advanced renal cell carcinoma. And so it sounds like it's good. They got an FDA fast track, which is pretty good. Decent catalyst for that one. We'll see what happens with it. UWT, next one. No really news out on UWT. Let's look at PRPO. Last one here. All right, so PRPO in strategic partnership discussions with proprietary cytogenetics media IV cell. Today it announced it's in active licensing discussions with several potential partners regarding IV cell, Precipio's proprietary cytogenetics media. So that's good. It seems like a few companies want to possibly work with them to get stuff done. So that's good news for it. We'll watch it as well. Let's see if it's tradable. I don't believe PRPO is, but we'll see. I'll check it just to be safe. No, unfortunately it's not. And so yeah, Seadrill is going to be my second one to watch. Let's look up the daily on DWT. It's something I'm really curious in. It's down a ton. I'm going to see maybe a continuation short. Going to be careful with it though. So yeah, that's what's on my watch list for today. All right, let me catch up with the chat. What's up, Meter? Good morning, man. Yeah, Matt, I'm watching eBay. It's a little bit higher float stock. I usually don't like to trade those as much, but I'm keeping an eye on eBay as well. Good morning, Outsider. HEAR has good news, a partnership. Yeah, it had a really nice push yesterday. It ended up giving a lot of it back, about half of that big push. It's got a lot of support at 420 right here, 418, 420, and so that's an interesting level to watch. What's up, Atheon? Good morning, man. Good morning, Tiny, James, PLM. PLM's just not moving at all. No volume. It's kind of in a very small channel of 2 cents per day for the last few days. So I don't like PLM at all, but it's just my opinion. Good morning, Albo. What's up, man? What's up, friendly neighborhood troll, Sonic? I seriously doubt anybody is up 500,000. Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good one for us, Penguin. What's up, Mr. Mackey? They should let you, Mr. Mackey. All you gotta do is create an account with them and then download it. You should be able to have Thinkorswim. 7, you're still holding BPMX, huh? So, Matt, it's basically how many outstanding shares are available to the public. A low float stock. The reason traders like to trade low float stocks is because if you think about it, there's less shares available overall, and so it takes less volume to make the stock move. So, like for instance, if a stock only has 5 million shares in its float, it's going to move really, really easily because less people have to buy or sell shares in order to make it move. Now, if a stock has 1 billion shares in the float, it's going to take a lot of volume, a lot of people. It's going to take a ton of people to make that thing move. And so with low float stocks, they're way more volatile just because there's less shares available, and ultimately it takes less to make them move in any substantial way, if that makes sense. So high float stocks are like eBay, probably, Apple. You know, you can see this is a big gap up for eBay, and it's really only up about $2.14. So, you know, it's a big move by it, but it's not up too much. Only about 214 right now. And so, you know, it's probably a high float stock. It probably takes a lot to make it move. What's up, VVK? Yeah, VVK, that's Sonic, man. He trolls everybody. He does it every day for the most part. I haven't banned him or anything just because it's kind of humorous. So I just let him troll us, you know. YEXT. Yeah, I do kind of like YEXT for that move. Had a nice little flag right before the close. Kind of sets a very obvious area to watch right here at the high of yesterday. See if we can get over there. ABT. Yeah, ABT's kind of swinging here. Interesting under 58 right here for a continuation short maybe. So I guess I'll watch ABT as well. Still holding LFIN, Joshua. What's LFIN doing? I haven't seen that one in a while. I think it's a blockchain related stock. Oh yeah, LFIN was halted and never resumed. That sucks. VHC. Yeah, just very kind of dull day yesterday. I mean, it had a nice gap up, but you can see it looks like a higher float stock just because it's moving. Whenever you see a stock this choppy, it's usually a high float stock. Yeah, you can see just in pre-market, a lot of people are trading it, so that usually means it's a high float stock. You can usually tell by looking at the level 2 to see how many people are trading it. SALL. Maybe it was a mistype. Riot. Yeah, Riot's been getting subpoenaed and sued by its investors for a while now. I'm surprised this stock's even still active. It's a little risky to trade though, but I'm watching it regardless. All right, so there goes DWT. I'm kind of bummed out. I would have definitely preferred DWT to wait to break under that low at the open, so it kind of gives me an entry at this 870 low of the day. But unfortunately, it just broke it now. We'll see what happens with it. Honestly, there's a lot of gappers and a lot of movers this morning. I still think a majority of these gappers are going to end up, washing out at the open. I think they'd probably be good shorts like DCAR, RIGL. But unfortunately, I can't trade them on TradeNet. And so the only thing I can do is go long on Robinhood Web. But, and so while there's a lot of movers this morning, there's not a lot of opportunities for me really. Like I'm gonna look to short DWT, maybe trade Cedro if it starts moving. Watching ECYT, ABT now, UWT, but the rest of these, most of them I can't trade unfortunately. So kind of a bummer. Oh yeah, for sure, dog. Honestly, my son is 4 and he loves Sonic. I sit there and play Sonic with him. Now you can download all the old Sonic games on like an iPad, and so he has Sonic 1 and 2. The second one is Sonic and Knuckles, I think. And so he has 1 and 2, and I've sat there and I beat the entire first one with him. He's a little bit too small to really know how to win, and so he just watches me play. But I still play it. ITUS. Yeah, but whenever you see us, like most of the time, I mean, it's just low volume gap. So like everybody's different. This is just my opinion on these, but a lot of the times when I see a stock gap up like this and it's just low volume, it's just too risky because most of the time it's not going to push up, and most of the time it's just going to immediately fall. It'll probably open up at like 420 or 410 and then just do nothing for the rest of the day. And so they're really tough to trade, even though it's gapping up a big amount. It's just really tough to trade. Do I think DCAR will drop? What was the news on DCAR? Wasn't it something with the FDA? Unfortunately, a lot of these stocks I want to trade just aren't. Yeah, this one's the one that's volume rose 163% year over year. Um, but I honestly, I think it'll still drop at the open. There's no telling though. I'm not an investment professional, not liable for any losses. You got to make your own assessment, but just my opinion, I think DCAR will probably wash at the open just because it's up a big amount already. It's up about 20%, so big move. There's also TLGT. I can't trade any of these big gappers today, which is frustrating. NBEV as well. You see TGLT and NBEV. Can't talk right now. Yeah, this is what I was wanting to do at the open with DWT. Unfortunately, it's just not my style now. We'll see what happens. Still going to watch it, but... I guess I'm going to watch ABT here, although it has better volume. AMD. I wouldn't even say they're good short 7 just because like a lot of the time they'll just immediately gap back down. So it's kind of tough to trade. The float's probably going to be pretty big. And so it's just risky, regardless of which way you take. It could push up, don't get me wrong. Most of the time they don't. Most of the time they gap down a small amount and then they just do nothing for the rest of the day. And so the spread's usually pretty ridiculous with stocks like that just because the volume's not there. Good morning, Juan, Santi. What's up, guys? James, AMD. Yeah, AMD usually gaps up every day a little bit. Yesterday it did, today it did. Yeah, this is a good example of a high float stock. It's a really big float in this one. So you can see a big day for it was like yesterday, but it only moved 40 cents, about 40 cents. And so this is a good example of a high float stock, AMD. DCER. I mean DCAR. Yeah, DCAR. ECYT gapping up some. Kind of short bias with ECYT per the daily chart. DPW. I know I can trade DPW and MARA. Yeah, DPW. Lately it's just not. It hasn't been moving too much. I mean, it usually gaps up some. As you can see, if you look at the last week, it's been gapping up some every day, moving a little bit, I should say. But the range is still relatively small. Yesterday it only had a range of 20 to about 20 cents. So very small range, tough to profit unless you use big sizing. So I'll probably get into some trades on Robinhood depending on how everything acts. Let's look at the SPY. ADTN dropping pretty big. See if I can find anything else. Like I said earlier, HTBX is gapping up some as well. Yeah, I was watching KTOS. I don't think it's tradable on TradeNet either, though, unfortunately. Oh, it is tradable. So KTOS is one I'm going to be watching. Then there's TLGT. I'm going to watch HMNY too, just because it's been moving a decent amount the last few days. Had a nice big move yesterday, so going to watch that one. So on days like today where I can't really short that much unless it's on TradeNet, I'm going to be specifically watching for washout longs. And so I'm basically going to be waiting for the stock to drop some and then to push back up and break the high of the day. So I want to see it drop initially at the open, and then within a candle or two push back up, break the high of the day, and then start pushing up nicely. So that's kind of the setup I'm going to be watching for today. You can see TXT moving some. All right, guys, we got about 4 minutes left until the open. Good luck, everyone. Good morning, Power Zone. What's up, man? DCER. I'm assuming you mean DCAR. Yeah, I mean, I'm more short biased with RIGL and DCAR just because they're up so much, but they could easily start pushing up in the upward direction. Pushing up in the upward direction. But yeah, just because they're gapping up so much, I'm more short biased with it. But like I said, they could easily push up. All right, guys, we got about 2 minutes left. Good luck, everyone. Good morning, Ant. What's up, man? What's up, T-Dot? Yeah, no worries, Juan. Kind of excited to see if SDRL does anything. It's very rare that I get to trade stocks under 50 cents on TradeNet, and so since SDRL is tradable, kind of excited for it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm watching HMNY. It's at 4 now. It's on my other monitor. All right, guys, market's opening up in about a minute. Yeah, I'm watching DCAR as well, Chad. It's not tradable in TradeNet, but I'm watching it regardless. I still think it's gonna fall, but it could easily push up. So I don't want to sway anybody's opinion on it. Everybody's different. Just my kind of opinion on it is that it's gonna fall. What could happen with DCAR, it could drop initially at the open and then eventually break the high of the day and start pushing up for a washout long setup. And so we'll see what happens with it, but unfortunately I can't really trade it on TradeNet, and so I'm left to trade it on Robinhood if it does do anything in the upward direction. Appreciate it, cool. Yeah, man, keep fighting, man. We'll get there one day. All right, market's opening up in about 15 seconds. Good luck, everyone. Appreciate the subscribe, Doug. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. All right, market's about to open up right now, so good luck, guys. All right, there's the open. All right, so the SPY's dropping some right now. Let's look to see if everything continues to follow suit. All right, K-Toast getting a big volume spike here. SPY's dropping. HMNY over 4 now. What's up, Ben? Good morning, man. All right, so KTOS here getting really close to this pre-market high right here at 180. Maybe trying to run. We'll see. SPY's bouncing a little bit here. All right, there's the break of the pre-market high on KTOS. Up to 1187 now. 1189. Up to 1195, about to test 12 on KTOS. It's starting to run. Good morning, Felix. What's up, man? All right, so RIGL and DCAR both dropped at the open. SPY starting to bounce back, so we'll see if they get a little bit more volume in, start heading back up. KTOS testing 12 now, sitting right at $12. BTE. Yeah, BTE running. Energy stock. And BTE is tradable on TradeNet. Alright, so I'm watching DWT here. Alright, so I'm in DWT with 100 shares. Try to get in at the low of the day, but it's pushing back up pretty quickly. Stop's going to be at 869. Starting to get a little bit too close to that high of the day. Yeah, I'm going to get out for a $5 loss. I just don't like it. It could very easily just start running back up here. I guess I'll give it a little bit more time now that it's falling. You can see it's testing that low again. It's at 863 now. Let's see if we can get a nice drop under the low. SPY starting to rebound though, breaking the high of the day and starting to push. IZEA is halted. BTE trying to get over this high of the day maybe again. RIGL, same thing. Like I said, I thought both of these would drop. It's about to crack the low of the day. Wish I could short it. DCAR starting to get pretty close to that low. And there's the drop. See, this is kind of where I like shorting these overextended stocks, right when it forms a low and then breaks it. So unfortunately, it's not tradable on TradeNet, but that's kind of what I look for with these. In my mind, a large percentage of the time, these overextended stocks end up crashing. And so that's ultimately why you can see I like trading those. I believe so. Cool, I believe they do. I'll give DWT a little bit more time. Probably going to bail out of it though quickly here if it breaks this high right here at 868. Getting really close. Testing it. There's all right. So I'm out with an $8 loss. Yeah, now it's the washout long setup is what I'm looking for with it. We'll see what happens with it, but never quite broke that low of the day for me. SPY is tanking pretty hard now, so look for everything else to kind of follow suit here. You can see the SPY, if I pull the SPY up right here, broke the low, trying to continue down there. HEAR is tanking. Yeah. If BTE can't hold over this 371 level, I may short it if it breaks under that with a goal of 360 maybe. Yeah, statistically, Wednesdays have never been good days for me. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know if it's something about the market. I wake up early on Wednesdays because my daughter has choir, so maybe it's lack of sleep. What's up, Track Racer? What's up, man? TEUM. Yeah, just trapped longs here. SOXS. SOXS has been running some after a small gap. SOXS unfortunately is not tradable for me, at least. HMNY over 4 now. So IZEA had a really crazy push today. HMNY up over 4 to 408. BTE had really nice volume originally during the day. It's kind of slowed down some. But you can see how choppy the SPY is. Look at YUMA, guys. YUMA, Yuma. Crazy move up to 155. It's back down to 130 now, but really crazy move with Yuma here. Down to 120, almost 120, 122 just about. Why are you in running? Trying to think of the stock I had here. It was like RTE. No, maybe not. BTE is what it was. DPW tanking some. Dropping down to 150. CVEO. Watching ECYT here. Just starting to get under the low of the day. The volume is not quite there. Alright, so I'm in ECYT. I did notice ECYT had a good daily chart for a short. CVEO. Yeah, just not moving quite as much as I wanted to. HMNY is starting to kind of run here. Broke the high of the day at 408. See if it can hold over that 408 high. Yeah, your FOFU won over your FOMO. Yeah, I wish I could have done that. Wednesdays have never been good days for me, and so they're just tough to trade for me. I don't know why they're so tough, but for some reason they are with me. Wednesdays statistically are easily the worst days I have trading. And there's a crazy push on ECYT. Really quick. Yeah, I wish my FOMO would have won over, or my FOMU, my FOMU would have won over my FOMO here. TVIX. Yeah, TVIX is tough to trade. Volatility. It's a volatility ETF, and so it moves whenever the market is volatile. And you can see the SPY, it had a big move, but if the SPY pushes up, usually the TVIX goes in the counter direction. So we'll see what the TVIX does. It had a nice little run. Yeah, man. Yeah, I quit smoking real cigarettes like a few years ago. I just use the electronic ones now. I'm torn on whether they're better for me or not, but most importantly, I don't have that smell around my kids, and so I just stick with the electric ones. Yeah, like I said, I didn't get too much sleep last night. My daughter wakes up really early to go to choir for her school. At like 6 a.m. she has to be there, which is crazy for a third grader to be at school at 6 a.m. for choir, but they do it. And so I got to get up really early on Wednesdays, and I think that may be one of the reasons why I statistically do pretty poorly on Wednesdays. It's just the less sleep I get, the less clearly I think. Really tough day to trade though, in the grand scheme of things. Most stuff you could see is just faking people out. Like you can look at HMNY for instance. HMNY broke the low of the day, and so you would think it would be a good short. Immediately pushed back up, tested the high of the day, broke the high of the day, and so you would think it would be a good long. Immediately came back down, broke under $4. You know what I mean? And now it's at 397. So really tough day to trade in the grand scheme of things. You know. Not much is really following any specific pattern or anything like that. The only thing I could really see is those two setups I said at the open that I liked, RIGL and DCAR for shorts. And those are usually happening right at the open. They drop, and so you can see it dropped. But even this, when it tried to break the low of the day, it just couldn't do it. And now it's back over the whole dollar with DCAR, kind of the same thing. I mean, it dropped down to 220 from 250, just about 250. So about 30 cents to gain, but it's just really tough to take advantage of these small moves. Broke under the low of the day, went down to 220, pushed back up to 220, and so really tough day. You can see how choppy HMNY is as well, and so really tough day to trade. Not much is really following any specific setup or pattern for the most part. Joshua, so I have a few businesses. I'm a real estate agent, but most of the money that I pay the bills with, I have an Amazon business that pays most of the bills. And so I work on my Amazon business. I do real estate. I'm a real estate investor, or not a real estate investor. I'm a real estate agent as well. And I also outsource and publish Kindle ebooks. And so I probably have 50 or 60 books published on Kindle right now that I make royalties from each month. And so I have multiple different things that I do to pay the bills. So, kind of a few different things. The main income is from my Amazon business, though. I mean, insurance, the only setups I really see, you know, I might not know the setups that are going on. The only setups I really see are doing the opposite. Instead of going for the high of the day break, looking for a short at that previous resistance. So when it hits that previous resistance, taking the short side, and if it hits that previous support, going long is the only setups I really see. It's kind of the different setup I see in the market, kind of opposite of what conventional thinking would be. Opposite, Joshua. I buy low and sell high, but basically, like I have a used book business, and I know a lot of people are doing it now, but I've been doing it for about 4 years. I have a scanner that scans barcodes, and so it tells me the lowest price it's selling for on Amazon. And so I can go to a Goodwill or a thrift shop and buy a book for $1, maybe 50 cents. And if it's worth more than $10, I buy it for 50 cents or $1 and resell it for 10, essentially making $9 profit from it. But I've been doing it for years, and so a lot of people get started into it and they just don't stick with it. But now I have thousands and thousands of books. I probably have 5,000 books at my house. I have a whole room in my home dedicated to just books, and so I probably sell anywhere from 30 to 60 a day. And so it's a good business. It's what I support my family with for the most part. And that's kind of why I can stay home and stream, is because I work for myself for the most part. Real estate as well. Insurance, my store doesn't really have a link. With Amazon, you don't really have a specific store. If somebody wants to buy something that's in my inventory, they just go to that product's page and then look at all the sellers selling it. And if they like me being the seller the most, they'll buy it from me if I'm the lowest price or whatever. And so it's not that I have a specific store. It's just that if somebody's looking for an item I have, they go look for it on Amazon. And if they find it, and if they choose to buy it from me, great. Yeah, it's ridiculous how many really expensive books I buy for very cheap. Like, I sold two Star Wars role playing books. They were Star Wars role playing books a while back, and one of them sold for $350. The other one sold for like $190. And so I bought basically $500 worth of books for $3 at the time. And they had a really good rank, which means they were really popular. And so they literally sold within 5 minutes of me listing it. They were immediately sold within 5 minutes. And so really easy, simple business. And you get a lot of those type of books a lot. Most of the time, the books that I'm selling that are worth the most are anywhere from $10 to $20 is usually what kind of my main inventory consists of. I live in the South. I live in Houston, Joshua. So Amazon credits me a specific amount for shipping. Man, this ECYT trade is turning into a nightmare. It's pushing up over the previous high. If it breaks that 916 level, that's when I'm going to get out. I guess I should give it to 10 since I'm already down, but yeah, not how I wanted this trade to go for sure. NYC, I use it. It's called uh, man, what is it called? It's called I have to look at it. Something 200. KDC. It's called a KDC 200 scanner. So K as in Kmart, D as in David, C as in car. KDC 200 scanner, and it costs about $200, but it allows me to scan them really, really quickly. And so I can get in and out of a store within 10 minutes, and I usually try to go to multiple stores a day. I kind of set a limit, like I have to get at least 50 books per day to maintain inventory. Because if I sell from 30 to 60 books a day, I have to get at least 50 per day to maintain the inventory I have. And so I try to get it. I don't go home until I get at least that many books per day. NURO, Christopher. Sorry, I'm getting on the topic of my business. Haven't been watching the stock market as well. Yeah, I mean, you could do it from home, Matt. The biggest thing I always tell people that want to get into it is that Amazon is very, very strict. Very, very strict. So, for instance, if you get more than 3 negative reviews in a month, they ban you for life. For life. And I'm not joking when they say that. They will ban you for life. You'll never be able to sell on there again. And so if you get started with it, you have to take it seriously. If somebody asks for a refund or complains or anything like that, I just immediately issue them a refund. I don't even ask for the book back. I just say, here, take a refund. Please don't leave me a bad review. You know, but it's something that takes time to build up enough. It's an investment, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have to invest time and money to buy the books, you know. But it's worth it enough for it to be extremely profitable if you do it full time like I do. Like I go out four days a week usually to get books, and so I'm essentially getting about 200 books per week added to my inventory to maintain. And so, but like I said, it's a good business. You know, I have most of the time on average, I probably make anywhere from 190 to about $300 a day doing it. You know, plus whatever I make in real estate, plus whatever I make in Kindle ebook royalties. And so, you know, it's a good business and I'm comfortable doing it. You know, I can support 2 kids and a wife with it. So, but it's an investment and it takes time to do. Yeah, NYC, the scanner is expensive. It costs $200 new, but you could buy one used for much cheaper. I have 2 of them, really, just in case one of them's battery dies while I'm out. All right, so I'm sitting here holding ECYT, trying to give it that time. It's starting to drop like I wanted it to, so that's good. We'll see if it eventually cracks this low here, which it should, I would think. There we go, down to 1982. Try to stay patient with it. You can see why I set a stop, you know, a mental stop at right here at 997, just because that previous resistance was there. TVIX is starting to run with the SPY breaking the low of the day. You can see the TVIX is starting to break the high of the day. SPWR. Yeah, SPWR has been on a run. I missed this one in pre-market. I don't know why I missed this one. It's breaking this pre-market high. A lot of the times you got to be careful though, because a lot of the times if it takes this long to creep back up to that pre-market high, it gets rejected. So it looks like a good setup, but it may be a trap. So just be careful if you're watching SPWR there. But yeah, I think ECYT is overall following the SPY for the most part. Very similar. Yeah, no problem, Lewis. Yeah, I don't mind sharing because, I mean, unless you're in Texas and you're going to be buying the same books I'm buying, like in the same city that I am, um, you know, it's not really going to hurt my business if other people know about it, you know. All right, so ECYT breaking the low of the day. That's kind of what I wanted to see here. I'll give it a little bit of time. If not, I can basically get out for it, break even for the most part. See you, Tiny. Thanks for watching, man. Yeah, thrift stores. Goodwill, but a lot of people like me go to Goodwill now. Um, and so mostly just thrift stores. And really, my favorite places to go are charity thrift shops. Those are where you're going to get the cheapest books. Like, I go to charity thrift shops. Like, here in Houston, they have one called Northwest Assistance Ministries. And I can get books for 20 cents there. All right, big drop on ECYT. I'm going to go ahead and get out here for a $10 profit. And so just like that, I'm basically break even on the day. Had patience with it. And good to see the trade work out for me. Yeah, Seven, that legit made me laugh out loud, man. Seven just said, my girl just quit her job at MGEN. Buy that stock on some insider stuff. Yeah, made me laugh out loud for sure. Right, everybody's going to be selling books on Amazon. Like I said, I don't mind telling people just because you would have to be in the same city I am, um, in the same area I am to really affect my business. And so it's like, unless you're going to be going to the same stores I am, getting the same inventory I am, kind of competing with me at the same stores, I don't mind telling people about it. It's a good business. It really is. It's something I can do full time, but I've been doing it for 4 years and I have thousands of books in my inventory. And so it took time to build that business up to that level. But once you're there, it's really profitable. And it's a good business overall. Sorry if I mispronounce your name, Ibrahima. What do you mean by that? How long am I doing day trading for? Oh, how long have I been day trading? Actively about 9 months. I started day trading 2 years ago in 2016, but I only traded for about a month, and then I lost my entire account and gave up for another 7 or 8 months, maybe another year, basically. But yeah, insurance says most people give up on it, and that is very true. Like I see people all the time. It's really discouraging unless you have like a scanner like I have. Yeah, for sure. Like most people give up on it. The reason people give up is like, the same scanner that I have, it's hooked up to a smartphone app on my phone. And you can scan books just using your phone without buying the $200 scanner. But it takes way longer if you scan by your phone. And so, like, for instance, the other day I went to a store. I went to a store to get books, and somebody was there before me, and they were on the second row of books, but the store had 10 rows, and they were using their phone, which was substantially lower. And with my scanner, I can literally scan probably 10 books in 5 seconds. And so while they were using their phone and they had gotten 2 rows done, I did the entire 8 other rows before they finished with the second row. And so I got in and out in 15 minutes and I had about 35 books. They had about 5 books and they got 2 rows, and it probably took them 2 hours to do it. And so when you first get started, that kind of stuff's going to be discouraging. And a lot of people get started. It takes an investment. You have to continuously add inventory to see good profits. And if you don't continuously do it, you might make a few $100s a week, but you're not going to be, profitable enough to maintain that longevity in the business. And so it has to be something you do regularly, and you have to have the money to get it started. But that's why most people quit. It's just because it can get discouraging competing with everybody else. Another thing is that if you do it, you kind of want to be in a big city. Like I'm in the Houston area. There's probably 30 or 40 thrift shops within a 20-mile radius of me. And so I can go to a new one every single day and then just I kind of go in a big circle. I start off on one side of town, go all the way around all over the city, and then I end up back where I started, and then I start over. But if you're not in a big city, there's not going to be enough stores to get sufficient inventory to maintain the business, at least in my opinion. Another thing I kind of see today, so SPWR, it held support at that pre-market high right there, broke the $0.50, and it's continuing to push. But one thing I've noticed, if you look at the SPY and then you look at ECYT, very similar pattern here. Like look how similar this is. And so they always say 3 out of 4 stocks followed the market. You can see that's exactly true. ECYT is doing it right now. So Power Zone, you're gonna need an iPhone regardless, unless you have like a pocketbook organizer type of thing where you can add it on. But the scanner I use, it's still hooked up to my smartphone, but it's a laser barcode scanner, and so I don't have to put my phone up. What I do is I change the sounds. Like I set a profit margin that I'm looking for, and I make my phone ring whenever it's in that profit margin. And if it's not, I make it just go and so I don't even have to look at my phone. I just listen, and if it rings, it's a profitable book, and then I'll look at it and buy it. But if it just goes I just keep going. But you have to have a phone regardless. If you're just using your phone, you're using your phone's camera. Whereas the scanner I have, it's a Bluetooth scanner, and so I hook it up to Bluetooth on my phone, and it laser scans the barcodes, so it's substantially faster. All right, but back to stocks here. I've been talking about my Amazon business, but yeah, it's a good business. There's a lot of information about it on YouTube if you're interested in it. I actually have I don't want to say. Yeah, and I usually don't tell anybody the name of my Amazon account or anything like that, just because bitter people happen. I got some guy chronically disliking every video, and I don't want to give him any information so he can try to sabotage my business just because they don't have, any other type of life, and they're just kind of bitter at life and want to take it out on somebody. And so, that's why I never really give anybody my store name or anything like that, just because you always have bitter, insecure people that are going to try to take their frustrations on life out on you. But it's a good business. You just got to be careful. Yeah, VTVT. I was actually watching VTVT yesterday in after hours. Man, I wish I would have kept paying attention to it. Still running up nice here. Testing the high of the day right here at 205. Breaking it at 209 now. VTVT is starting to push. Yeah, you can see I almost got stopped out of ECYT. Got very, very close, but I was setting that previous high as my stop. And so got really close to it, tested it, but it went down in my direction. So happy with that for the most part. Definitely got me out of the hole for the day. And you can see most of the stuff's following the SPY still. You can see the SPY's breaking the low. ECYT starting to do it. Another one I'm watching, ABT, is starting to do the same thing. Breaking the low here. Good job, Matt. Nice trade, bro. But yeah, VTVT looking strong. Went over, it broke the high of the day. Now's the crucial level right here at this 195 point, 196 point. If it can hold support there and then break the high of the day again, I definitely like it for a long setup. I know it's not tradable. I checked it yesterday in after hours, but it looks decent if it can continue. The only problem is that it's a little bit extended now, especially in the last 2 days. A really interesting documentary that just came out that I watched yesterday. It's called The China Hustle. It's about how American companies are basically using shell companies and merging with Chinese stocks so they can be listed on the U.S. stock exchange instead of the Chinese stock exchange. And you see so many Chinese stocks in the market. It's just interesting, really interesting documentary about how they're doing that, and then they're pumping up the Chinese stocks and then people are investigating them, finding out they're worthless, and then shorting them. So really good trading documentary. It's called the China Hustle. It's either the China Hustle or the Chinese Hustle. Really good documentary. All right, so VTVT found some support at that 195 level, like I was saying, 197, and now it's trying to break over 2 again. It's kind of forming a little channel in between the high of the day and that previous resistance, or that previous support that was resistance before that. And so we'll see if it can break 209 and continue here. I guess I can try to get in on Robinhood. This was when I was watching on Robinhood, you could see. But it's up so much, I just don't know if I trust it necessarily. Back down to 2. It's struggling to hold. I think when it breaks, whichever way it breaks, whether it breaks the high of the day or whether it breaks under this 196 support, I think it's going to go hard. If it breaks under, the next support level is at 180, so not too far off. All right, so VTVT still kind of consolidating in between that high and that previous support. It's trying really hard here, kind of wedging a little bit. You could also see SPWR came back down, and now it's trying to hold that previous pre-market high right here as support around 950. And so we'll see what it does here, see if it tries to push back up to maybe that 975 level. Yeah, one thing I've noticed though is that it's crazy how much a lot of these stocks follow the market. Like VTVT, SPWR are all kind of outliers here, but if you look at a lot of these other stocks I'm watching, like ECYT, DCAR, ABT, like if you look at ABT here, it's following the SPY pretty close. If you look at the SPY and look at ABT, very similar pattern here. Same thing with ECYT. Very similar pattern. HMNY is starting to try to break the low of the day here. While VTVT is starting to maybe break the high of the day. There, it just broke the high of the day. We'll give it a little bit of time, see what happens with it. All right, see you, Mitch. Thanks for watching, man. Up to 214 on VTVT, still pushing. SPY bouncing back some. Up to 218 VTVT. Yeah, I probably should have jumped in, but like I said, Wednesdays are usually my tough days, and it's just so extended. I think earnings are coming out. Usually when my phone does this, it means earnings. Let's see. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and close the stream down now. Break-even day today. Not bad. I'll definitely take it, considering most Wednesdays are horrible. So it's nice to have a break-even day, and it's nice to have that profitable trade on ECYT bringing me back to break-even. Essentially, I think I'm down $1, so I'm going to go ahead and call that break-even. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. I day trade live on stream every weekday morning, starting at 8:45 a.m. Usually stream till about 10:30, 10:15 market time. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And if everybody wants to do me a favor, and if you appreciate me doing this, click the like button right now on this video. I definitely appreciate it if you do, and it will help support us. So click the like button right now, guys, and I appreciate it if you do. But yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you guys later. I should have a watch list video out later on today. The reason I didn't have one yesterday is because my car battery died. I left a light on last night, or the day before, and my car battery was dead yesterday. I had to jump start it, but then it wouldn't start. I had to pour some Coca-Cola on the battery to get rid of some of the erosion and stuff. So it ended up working. I got my car started, but that's ultimately what I was dealing with yesterday afternoon. But yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all later. Hit the subscribe and like buttons, and thanks for watching, guys. See you all tomorrow.